Hello everyone, it's Brittany with Drops of Jupiter Astrology, and I'm back with another astrology video. I'm going to continue talking about the houses today. We did the first house prior, and I apologize. I was looking at that astrology picture of mine, which was not probably the best example because, see, the astrology wheel goes counterclockwise, and that particular picture went clockwise. So I said the first house had Sagittarius in it, so the second house was Scorpio, and that is wrong. Actually, after the first house in Sagittarius would be the second house in Capricorn. So the Capricorn was above it in the 12th house, and that is not how the wheel goes. So I'm sorry for the confusion, and if I show any more astrology wheels, I will be sure to get one that makes more sense. Anyways, so now for the second house, we're going to discuss a little bit about what the second house is and what you can find there and, what it all means. Before I do that, I just wanted to say I added an Instagram account for Drops of Jupiter Astrology, and it's under the name Astro by B, and you will find it on Instagram. Please follow me. I love to, share astrology stuff, and so that's another fun way to see what's going on. So now, in the second house, we have Taurus. So normally in the second house, as I said, the first house we said Aries rules that house, and Mars rules Aries. So it's ruled by Mars, Aries. They all are, they hold hands, and they are all, related. So now, when you move to the second house, you're going to find that Taurus rules the second house and Venus rules Taurus. So the best way to really start to understand the houses and how to remember them there is to make yourself really, really familiar with the planets and what sign is associated with that planet, because they all have a certain flavor. Venus is, a sign, Venus is a planet that rules 2 signs because there's 12 signs and only 10 planets. So, you are gonna kind of have to think about it in that way for like that one particularly. Well, I'm associating Taurus with Venus, while I'm also associating Libra with Venus, and that might feel a little confusing, but what you realize is Libra and Taurus have a lot of similarities, even though one's earth and one is air. They're similar. They're both they both have a lot to do with beauty and kindness and love. It's just one's more of a grounded flavor, earth being Taurus, and the other one is a little bit more of like a intellectual, airy feel, where it's more about the mind and communication and relationship versus grounding yourself and doing work and money. But they both have an air of beauty. So one thing that you can really do is kind of get used to or teach yourself, get familiar with, Mars being that, rough planet, and the planet that's about sexuality and stick-to-itness and gumption and drive and wanting to take care of me and being independent, pushing me forward, and Aries being Aries being a sign of independence and wanting to move forward and be that cardinal energy and starting things, and the physical body and taking care of the physical body, and thinking of it as the first house being if like a baby. Aries is like you're born into that first house, and that's why the first through fourth houses, they really do speak to our childhood, because we start as a baby just thinking about ourselves. As babies, we literally just think about our own needs. It's independence. We're not at Libra yet. We're not thinking about relationship and how things are going to pan out working with people and what relationships are about. No, we're about screaming and crying to get our needs met, and that's the first house. Second house, now we move into Taurus. As we get a little bit older, we start to understand a little bit more about our needs and getting those needs met. So doing earth, making sure as we move into toddlerhood, getting those needs met, and understanding language, understanding the things that are necessary to move us forward. So the second house is a lot of times looked at as the house of possessions. It includes material goods, but it's not just strictly material goods. The things that we love. Venus, whenever we look at Venus and where Venus is in a chart, we look at it and we say, okay, Venus is in the second house. So how are we going to interpret that? Well, let's say you have Taurus in the second house and Venus is there. All things Taurus. How would we look at that as an astrologer? How would we read that? How would we say, like, what does that mean? Well, we're going to isolate it and we're going to say, okay, well, Venus is in an earth sign. What does that mean? Well, it means that this Venus is going to have a grounded nature to it, and it's going to think about how to do money and organization and cleaning and being in a body and being on earth. Then we're going to look at now Venus. Okay, well, Venus is all the things that I love. So Venus in Taurus is I love making money. I love material goods. I love art. I love, Venus is art. It's money. It's making things beautiful. It's all the things that you love. It speaks to a little bit how, not a little bit, a lot, to what kind of lover you are, how you love. If you are Venus in an earth sign, you're going to want gifts. You're going to want people to give you, gifts and give you tangibles to make you feel like, okay, they love me. They're showing me that they love me. It's earth. It's showing it in real time. It's not, Venus in air where it's like, I need intellectual conversation. I need you to talk to me. I need you to tell me you love me. This is this is earth. So in second house, it's going to speak to we're going to look at your income, how good you are with money, how well you are with investments and movable property like cars and jewelry and clothing and, those types of possessions. How you do with debt. Are you somebody that is okay with racking up credit card debt, or are you somebody that, loves to save their money? Venus in Taurus, in the second house, they are just like beyond crazy about making sure that their money is safe and sound and they're saving it and they really care about money. If you had Venus in the second house in Taurus, you are going to be like the best saver. You're going to love like rocks and like gems and all of those kinds of things, like stones. I mean, it's like that's the kind of stuff, beautiful things. There's an artist, people that have Libra and Venus, they're artists. People that have, Taurus and Venus, this Venus influence, they're artists. Libra risings are artists. There's and Taurians. It's why they make such good interior designers, for example, because they are, practical. It's like on earth. It's not even so much creative, whereas like painting is more of a Libra thing. It's more abstract. It's flowy like air. But like designing a room with the physical couch and the talking about it and the angles and that's very Taurian, and that is something that, a Taurus person could really do. And Taurus in the second house, like that would, Venus, Taurus in the second house would speak to somebody like, that would be able to do something like that. Second house also speaks to our savings, how well we save, how well we budget. Are we good at budgeting? If you have Sagittarius in the second house, you're probably pretty loose with your wallet. You're probably like, my kid needs this, or I love this person so much. Just buy it, just get it, whatever. They're so optimistic that they're like, let's just get it. I know I'm gonna get it back eventually. It's only money. Or Gemini in the second house. It's just gonna, boom, whatever. We don't care. We're just floating through life. And so, of course, it always matters what planets are there, what sign is there, how it's aspected. But generally speaking, this is very general. So if we are looking at somebody that has Aries, so we'll just go through the signs. If we, someone that's Aries, like you're going to enjoy, like I said, second house. It's money, it's finances, it's possessions. So you're going to enjoy making money by doing things that's on your feet. Aries is all about, pushing energy, moving chi, exercise. They're leading people. They are leaders. They're not followers. Aries is cardinal. So it's musing energy, moving energy, working out, taking care of business, starting business, and just like doing it and not being a whiny baby about it. You're just like, let's go, let's start it, let's move, let's move, let's move. And that's kind of the idea of Aries in the second house. Like that's going to, you're going to be moving energy when it comes to making money. Because remember I said the houses are where the energy manifests. So that Aries energy, if you go back to the Aries video that I did, you get the idea of what Aries energy is. Put it in the second house of making money, and that's how you are in life. Okay? That is what it's going to be. Now, of course, if there's planets there and it's negatively aspected, positively aspected, things are going to be slightly different. But the general idea of what you're going to be experiencing is going to be Aries in the second house of making money. That moving and shaking, being independent, getting things going, saving as much as you can, making as much as you can, moving energy, you're just going to do it. And that is going to be, you're not going to be, lackadaisical and sleepy around making money. You're going to push through. When you're a Taurian and in the second house, when you have Taurus in the second house, you're going to like to make money by, eating and drinking. Like, they're about doing things slowly. Maybe you want to be like a taste tester. Like they love to eat, they love to indulge, they love to relax, they love to move slow, they love to do things peacefully. They like to make sure that they have enough time for all the things they love to do. So, if their job isn't something that they absolutely love to do, like they're going to make sure, like, I've got some time to work, but, I've also got to make sure I have some time to do things I love, because I'm not going to spend all my time doing things that I don't love. Taurus isn't going to buy it. They're like, no, I'm too stubborn for that. Like, I need to be able to do things that I also love to do. I'm not just going to sit around and, type at a computer all day long. Like, if it's not something that I feel passionate about. You're going to make money doing something artistic. That potentially would be something that most people would say, like, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I heard a story Justin Timberlake said, and he said, I I was told numerous times by everybody in my life that I should not, pursue a singing career, and now I'm making money doing the one thing everybody told me not to do. That is an example of Taurus in the second house. Now, I don't know if he has Taurus in the second house. I will have to look at his chart, but that is, he probably doesn't because he's very driven. But that type of idea of like, you're making money doing something that pretty much nobody is able to make money doing. That's a very Taurus thing. They want to be chefs, or they want to they want to do things that, they want to be out in nature. They want to be photographers out in nature taking pictures of the sunrise. They're not people that are going to be like, I work in a hotel, it's fast paced, I'm doing 15 things at once, I'm answering the phone, someone's yelling at me, I'm moving her from room 3 to room 7. No, that's not Taurus around money. They want to save money, they want to get rich quick, but they don't. They get rich slowly over time. But they do it. Most of them reach their goal of having money because, Taurus in the second house, one of the big things for them is like, I'm judging myself based on how well I've done financially. So if I am not doing well financially, then I'm not doing well. So they pretty much have a stick-to-itness around making money. They're not going to do the most traditional things, but they're going to do it. Gemini in the second house, they value communicating. You have to think also too, like, because this is the second house, it's Venus, it's value. I love, but I value. So, you value communicating. You value spending time with your friends and family. You are funny about money. I was trying to think of the right word about Gemini and money. Gemini, think about Gemini. Go back to my Gemini video. My son's a Gemini. They're just floating through life. They're like, yeah, man. Like it's funny because they're so smart, and there's such an intellectual part of Gemini. There really, really is. They love to teach. They love to learn. However, they're space cadets a lot of the time, and they're fast, and they're like boom, 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 boom. They're like, where's my hairband? Oh, it's on your hand. You know what I mean? Like, my son loses things all the time to the point where now he laughs about it and he actually entertains himself, which is a very Gemini thing to do. So, Geminis, when it comes to making money, it's around communication, because we'll get to that next video, but third house, Gemini, communication. So, so Gemini that sign is very much about communication. So, you could look back to the Gemini video if you have Gemini in the second house, and those attributes are going to be placed in that sector of your life around making money and about the things that you value. So you want to talk face to face when you're working. You want to have FaceTime with people. You want fast paced. And it's funny because every other sign we do, Aries is fast and they're moving and shaking. And then Taurus slows it down and they're like, let's relax. And then we go fast again to Gemini. That's how the signs are. It's every other. Masculine, feminine. Masculine, feminine. So you can see Gemini is a masculine energy. It's moving. They love fast-paced environments. They do well in superficial environments. So a hairstylist, they're moving. They're talking with people. They're moving fast. they're thinking on the surface. They're making money, making people beautiful. It's not so deep and heavy. They're using their hands. Writing is another one because writing is also part of communication. So it's not just verbal communication, it's written communication. So they could be a really great writer and have a book tour where they're, all over the place reading their book. They don't want to be bored. So like a hairstylist or, a writer or, a performer, anything where they are communicating, they're moving and shaking, and nothing gets bored, because if Gemini gets bored, they're going to just go and gone. They're on to the next thing. So that would be Gemini in the second house. Then we go, let's see, Cancer. If Cancer was in the second house, then you would value family. So now you would go back to my Cancer video and you would be able to stick all of those attributes, kerplunk, right into, there's my Gemini.
Take that stuff off.
I cannot right now, sweetheart. I'm in the middle of talking.
I don't want that stuff.
Just scrape it off. Sorry, picky Gemini. Actually, that was more Scorpio moon than anything. So Cancer in the second house, you're going to value your family. Why? Because family, we'll do that in the next video after Gemini. Third house, Cancer's fourth house. That's house of home. The moon rules it. Your mother, family. So you're going to see a pattern here. When I'm talking about these things, you're going to be able to, kind of say like, oh, the moon. Okay, the moon has similarities to Cancer because it rules it, and Cancer has similarities to the moon, and the fourth house is where all that energy manifests in your life. Okay, boom. I want to make it really simple for you guys that, you get the planet, the sign, the house, and they all kind of correlate. So second house, if you have Cancer in the second house, you're going to take that Cancer video and you're going to say, boom, those are those attributes. So you're going to spend, or you're going to save money, because it's going to be around emotions, because the moon, emotions, Cancer, that kind of deal. So you're going to be kind of like binging and purging with money. So you're going to feel really good, and you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to be good, and I'm going to put my money in the bank, and I'm going to do the right thing. And then bam, something horrible happens. My boyfriend broke up with me. My kid got a bad grade. He's miserable, whatever it is. And then you're going to go, you know what? I need some retail therapy. This is crazy. Like, I can't deal. And then boom. Now you've, blown a whole ton of money. So it waxes and wanes, not unlike the moon. So right there, write that down. The moon, emotions, waxing and waning. It's why we have rules. It's a water sign, Cancer. We are so much water. It's why the moon affects us in the way that it does. Because the moon affects the waves. You bet your sweet Bippy it affects us. So if you have Cancer in the second house, you're going to be affected by that lunar energy when it comes to money. You're going to value making money, doing Cancer-like things, being home. You're somebody that's going to potentially really value working from home, doing a job where you can just work from home. Or you're going to want to have a job where you're in a cubicle and you're not really required to be out, doing public speaking. This is not a great aspect for a politician who's got to be, out and about talking to people, all eyes on them. They're really not that into the spotlight. They're okay with it when they get it sometimes. They act like they hate it more than they actually do. But they really do enjoy kind of doing low-key jobs. They really enjoy having some really great close coworkers, somebody that, even like a business owner that has like a small shop and they have a few people that they really enjoy working with, and they're able to talk to people here and there and kind of like have a little attention every now and then, but it's not required, like that kind of a thing would be really good for Cancer second house. They just really enjoy, art, animals, compassion. Maybe you're gonna work at like an animal shelter, and you're gonna want to be, with animals or children. A teacher would be really good with this aspect, believe it or not. Just because there's such a loving feeling behind it. It's cardinal. So it is energy that gets moving. It's not, stagnant. So, that would be, the kinds of things that you would value. And, you're going to, kind of wax and wane. You want to save your money. You want to do what's right. But then sometimes you just get a little moody, or you get like super happy or whatever it is, and you're just like, I spent it. Leo. So, if we have Leo in the second house, you're going to watch the Leo video, right? And you're going to go, okay, Leo has a lot to do with ego and wanting to fit in. So now, how is this going to affect money? Well, first of all, you're going to want to make money doing things in the spotlight. You're going to want to be a performer. You're going to want to be signing autographs. You're going to want to be telling your life story, and writing a book about it. And you're going to want to work with friends, but you're going to want to be the leader, because you're the lion in the jungle. And you're going to want life to be exciting. You want a little drama, and, just kind of excitement in your life. You really crave stability and security financially, so you're going to want to make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money. You're going to want to save it as much as possible. Sometimes your ego is going to get the best of you, and you are going to make a large purchase that you shouldn't have made. But ultimately, your pride is going to be the most important, right? Because you're the lion, and you don't want to act foolishly, and you don't want to, look stupid. You want to fit in. You want people to look at you and go, "Oh wow!" So your value is in your ego and around your income and how much income you can generate. So sometimes Leo second house, they can get a little greedy. They can, because they really, really, really want a lot. But they're also at the same time, because Leo can go either way. There's kind of like the dark side, the shadow side to the lion that can be really greedy and not care about anybody else and just be really just kind of selfish. But then there's also, the high road for Leo, the more evolved Leo energy, which says, you know what, I want to take care of everybody and I want to help everybody and I'm going to feel so good about doing it. Leo in second house could be a fun one. If you actually become famous, make all your money, and you're able to stroke that part of you. My cat is looking at me like, what are you talking about? All right, so Virgo in the second house. Virgo in the second house, Virgo is in service to the collective. That's what Virgo is. And it's health. And, it's kind of, your work ethic house when we get to sixth house. But you're going to value serving others. This is Virgo second house, this is going to be the house where you really want to be in a career that's going to allow you to help people. Hello, Ty. It's going to allow you to help people. However, Virgo has a tendency to be, they nitpick. So, sometimes, I would say, like in the healthcare field, a nurse, a Virgo nurse, but at the same time they want to serve, they're complaining about serving. So Virgo, the evolved Virgo would be, I am in service. I did it in my Virgo video, Mother Teresa, channel it, say, I cannot fix you necessarily, but I'm here for you, and I'm in service. My soul is in service, and I am not mixing my ego in with this. Virgo in the second could be, a little hard. They care about making money. They care about making lists. They care about efficiency. They care about having self-worth, because a lot of times they don't feel like they have very good self-worth. Virgo in the second house, you are going to enjoy or value doing things that are close attention to detail, tedious tasks. You're somebody that could sit there and put cell phones together, like things like that. A surgeon, somebody, especially if you had like Virgo second house and Saturn is there, aspected nicely. Ooh, detail. That's the kind of thing. So working with pliers, working with wires, and working with, tiny things. Talking to others via technology. Because remember, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the mind, it's intellect, it's intelligence. And Virgos are generally very smart. So you're going to be smart with your money. You're going to be smart in your career to make money. You're not going to want to be sitting in an office or a boardroom. You're going to want to be like the one on the satellite, being like projected on the screen on the wall to the people in the boardroom. And a lot of times Virgos do pretend like they just hate what they're doing. It's like default for them. I don't know why. No matter where Virgo is, there's always an aspect of like nitpick. I would know. I'm a Virgo rising, and so for me, I'm constantly nitpicking myself, my physical body, the way I look, the way I act, the way I sound. There is, it's in the 11th house or even in the 7th house where like it's relationships, Virgo in the 7th. That's hard because, you don't, or like Venus in Virgo, it's like constantly for love relationships, your love, your heart is in your head, put it that way. So you don't want your heart in your head. You don't want to be thinking like, oh, he doesn't smell good. Oh, he's ugly. Oh, I hate those shoes. I hate the way he's dressed. Oh my God. Like, I can't stand the way he says, milk. It drives me crazy. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. You don't want, it's hard. That's really hard. You want to have like an emotional connection. So I digress a little, but, Virgo in second house, it's like that. So now Libra in second house. I have like so many more to do because I just blab. I'm blabbing. I'm sorry. It's like 34-minute video. You could always just fast forward to your sign, go onto astro.com, get your chart, find out where, what's in your second house, watch the video for the attributes of what sign is there, and get an idea. I will go through all the planets eventually once I get through all the signs, and you can kind of put it together for yourself a little bit. Or you can always get a reading. I'm happy to do that for you. And I'm sure plenty of other astrologers would be happy to do that for you as well. So now let's get into Libra. Libra in the second house, you're going to value partnerships, right? You're going to value relationship. You're going to value being with people. So that really is going to speak to your self-worth and make you the earner that you want to be. You believe, though, however, that you're not valued enough, and you get your idea of how valued you are based on what other people think of you or what other people you're working with think of you. And so if you got fired from a job, you're going to feel like you suck, and it's going to take you a long time to kind of get back on your feet, to be able to kind of have that confidence again. So what's really important for, Libra in second house is just making sure that they know that they're good enough within themselves, regardless of what other people say, because there's always going to be someone that thinks you suck. And there's always going to be somebody that thinks you're great. So as long as you have that healthy opinion of yourself, that's what matters most. They have to be careful to value money as money, and to make healthy compromises around money. They enjoy making money doing things like working with someone else. Starting a business with a friend is a very Libra in second house proposition. Supporting somebody, and doing that with somebody, trials and tribulations, and working and climbing up the ladder with somebody, and making money and finding success with somebody, and sharing your endeavors in a creative, loving, compassionate space where you feel accepted and there's lots of reciprocity. That is a Libra second house dream. Scorpio in second house, they value living in a meaningful way. If you look at my Scorpio video, they're just not about the small talk. They want to go deep. They want to get off the surface. They don't want... I have had everybody visit me with this video. I've got my son. Here's my cat, Rosie, and Tai Tai was here before. Hi, Lucas. This is my son, Lucas. Okay, sorry. Living a meaningful existence. They don't want to be feeling like, we're talking about, like when I did Gemini and I said they could potentially live in a little bit of a superficial land when it comes to work. Not Scorpio. They are not about it. They want something that matters. They are the people that are fixed, and they're just like straight ahead doing something that matters. They wrap their self-worth in, the job that they're doing and how well they're doing it and what it matters, how much it matters. They don't really like to spend money on themselves. They don't really believe that they deserve that. Scorpio in the second house, they really care about money and saving it, and just kind of like holding on tight to it. Remember, Scorpio is about control. It's about power, and they want to have full control over their money. So the types of jobs that a Scorpio second house would want to do is using the energy, the crazy energy that is not grounded, has no focus, taking all of that and finding a place for it. I don't know if that made any sense. They want to take the lost souls, the low vibrations, the confused emotions, everything that just kind of doesn't have a place. They're the ones that want to take it on. They're the therapists. There we go. And, you know, they want to take all that stuff that's a little bit off, and they want to work their butt off and set it straight. Get to the bottom of it. And, you know, that's what they are all about. They like being, they don't want to have to worry about being relied on. So a therapist, for example, you come sit down in my office, you download on me, I tell you a few things to kind of give that a path, or give that an angle, or, you know, a direction, and then you go home. You don't get to keep calling me and relying on me. I'm not your friend. I'm somebody that gives you direction, and then you come back next week for a little bit more. That's the type of idea with Scorpio. They don't want to have to like carry your stuff on their back. They just want to hear about it and try to like help in the best way that they can, because they have to do something that's not superficial. And they also would make really, really great writers. Sagittarius in the second. So Sagittarius is 9th house. It's Jupiter. If you go to my Sagittarius video, you will get more information on Sagittarius, but you will see that they value knowledge. Sagittarius rules higher education and religion. Not necessarily, you know, religion in the sense of the Bible or, you know, things like of that nature, but spirituality. The idea that there is something other than you. There's something bigger than you. So Sagittarius jobs would be jobs where you can travel. You know, doing things that make people, like a magician would be an amazing Sagittarius second house. Making people go, whoa, that's crazy. Making people see things in a different way. And sharing your wealth of knowledge and showing people how smart you are. And teaching people, using philosophy, being able to, you know, work in a university and, you know, share your philosophical point of view or get other people's philosophical points of view. You know, that's something that would be really great for Sagittarius. They tend to act like they don't care about money. Like I said, they do. I mean, they tend to become very wealthy, but it takes them some time to get going and to not blow it as fast as they're making it. You know, but they do tend to see pretty steady monetary advances once they find what they want to do and they have put their heart and soul to it. They're off. Capricorn. So we have 3 left. We have Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. I apologize, this video is so long. Capricorn in the second house. So these people value ding, time's up. No, I'm kidding. They value finding power through work and work ethic. And they value being the boss, being the leader. Again, this is the cardinal energy. You know, we went through it with Libra and Aries. You know, here we are now with Capricorn. These are the people that want excellence. They eventually will create some kind of empire, some giant business conglomerate. I mean, something huge like that. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. And, you know, as long as there's no crazy, horrible, harsh aspects to your second house, you know, you're just going to feel like you have to work hard for your money. And that's that. Like, there's no, like, money's going to be incredibly important to you. And you're just going to work. Like, it's going to be, you know, Taurus is like, I got to have some time for me. Capricorn's like, this is my hobby. This is what I do. I love to work. You know, they value working. And so they really enjoy things like working hard. That is what they value. So much so that they forget that there's other things in life than just working and making money and, you know, attaining status and power and blah, 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 you know, and, you know, when they are finally done with their work day, because remember, it's the mountain goat. Playing with my cat, sorry. I think I had more Gemini in my chart. When they are done working, you know, when they're done climbing the mountain for the day, the mountain goat stops. And that's exactly what Capricorn will do. They're going to sit down and they're going to relax and they're going to have a beer and they're going to just shut off. So there's two ways Capricorn can be. They wake up in the morning, they work their ass off, they come home, they shut off, and they do it again the next day. That is it. And that's what they value. And that's why they become so successful. And that is why Capricorn in the second house is just an amazing, you know, placement. Because it's success. Aquarius in the second house. Aquarius in the second house, you find your value in your own unique way, because Aquarius is Uranus and the 11th house. And so Aquarius is the polarity of Leo. Leo wants to fit in. The exact opposite of wanting to fit in is not caring. So, you know, when you place my Aquarius video into the second house and see it manifest in your work life, you would be able to see that you find value through your own unique thoughts and your own unique original ideas. And you want to work doing something that is going to allow you to create your own beginning of something and start your own tribe and make the collective see something that they didn't before. See it in a different way. You know, say everybody's using the microwave oven and you come up with this better new invention and prove why the microwave oven is like super bad for you and it's not good, and you're able to get a whole bunch of people on board and go, yeah, this is absolutely, let's start a revolution. Now nobody has microwave ovens anymore. They have your product because it's healthier and it's safer, and you know, it was this radical idea at one time, but now it's mainstreamed. And that is Aquarius at its best. But if Aquarius doesn't feel like they can make a difference or they can find people to bond with, they tend to get stagnant and not do anything, and they are so good at detaching that can happen. So, with career, You want to have coworkers that you really feel like you can bond with on that same playing field, and you have a similar vision. And you want to make real change for the collective. Are they good with money? Yes. Yes, they are. Because they work really hard at their best. They work really hard, and they value the money that's made because the work was hard. Because after all, they were starting some new radical movement, at its best. And, you do tend to be the giver of money. You want to put your money towards causes that matter, that you feel are going to change the game changers. And lastly, Pisces. Pisces in the second house is not easy. Why? Because the second house is ruled by an earth sign. Earth is all about doing money, finances, cleaning, the stuff that we have to do to be in a body and be successful, to move from A to B. You have to do earth. Pisces is a water sign. And Pisces, on top of being a water sign, because Cancer and Scorpio are water signs, but they're still able to hone that, that emotion in and still do something with it. Pisces, not to say Pisces can't, but it's harder for Pisces because Pisces is a dreamy water sign. Pisces is the water sign that's able to disconnect and with earth and not be grounded and go in between the worlds. So if we think about Pisces being in the second house where you're supposed to do money, these people are, at their best. They're healers. They're doing Reiki and they're praying. And they're having meditation circles, and they're artists. They're making beautiful pieces of art that mean something to them, and they're teaching others about spirituality and just they're making their money in the occult. Teaching people the occult and in a spiritual realm, in an energy, in energies, and things of that nature. Like that's where the money's going to be for them, because they're not going to be able to sit in an office. They're not going to be able to no, that's just not what they're going to do. Money is scary for Pisces. It controls them a lot because they're so afraid of it, because it's such an earth thing and they're so not earthlings. So when they do achieve success, especially doing something that matters so much to them, making music, a musician would be a beautiful career for this placement. Even if you're not the musician, you're doing something with music or art or healing, spirituality. And once you do, because it's so hard to gain success in those fields where you thrive most, when you do achieve success, it's going to mean so much to you. So much to you. And but money doesn't give you your self-worth. Which you're aware of. You have to stay true to your true north, and do what you love, and you're thankful when you finally make that money and you're able to sustain yourself doing something you love, but you know that it's not everything. So that is all the signs in second house. Remember, again, second house is our possessions. It's money. It's, things that we love. It's how that energy manifests within our that part of our life. And again, you can always go to astro.com, get your chart, find out what sign is there, and then revert back, and go to my whatever video I've made for, if it's Libra, watch the Libra video. And then come back here, watch the Libra section, and you'll get a better idea of what kind of, second house you have and what your work ethic is like and what finances are like for you and, things of that nature. And then when we do planetary aspects, we'll have that as well. I'm so sorry. My son has interrupted so many times in this video, but it's been a long one. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long. But we will be back. I will be back. Me and my crew will be back for the third house in Gemini. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys soon. Until then, never forget to inspire compassion. Stop. Take care.